chosen ones have always had a spiritual energy. Now, only chosen ones can understand this. Only chosen ones can understand what God's given them. Chosen ones can understand that this spiritual energy has been with them since they were little kids. And it's always been with them. And they always knew that they were a child of the light. See, most people don't realize that. Most people that are around these beautiful spiritual beings who walk the earth, these people who came to this earth to create a positive change. Now, most people who are around chosen ones, they can feel this energy. They can feel this spiritual energy. They can feel there's something about this person. But I'm not trying to say that it was always perfect for this spiritual energy for chosen ones. It's always been chaotic, and there's always been dark times, dark nights of the soul. That's why it feels like we have to keep working towards this, but it comes natural all the time for chosen ones. You know? Now, chosen ones have read a lot of books, are into the spiritual dynamics of reality. They can read heaps of books about spirituality and spiritual books. But the main thing is that chosen ones came to this earth to bring the light, which is, you don't really have to bring the light because you are the light. You just shine that out, and the divine expression comes out. A lot of times it can come out raw, it can come out dark, but chosen ones are still here. And a lot of people have felt this, friends and family and strangers, and a lot of people who came here didn't bring this energy. A lot of people had a lot of separation, segregation, prejudice. They didn't come here to actually bring this kind of unity or try to bring a new reality, a new earth, try to make things better. Even though the chosen ones, can be looked as criminal minded, can be looked as, outlaws. But a lot of them do have a positive, good energy that gets misunderstood because of their presence are so strong. And a lot of people act weird around them or act strange because the negative programming of people is being sabotaged. So when these children who have a negative programming of their parents, of their prejudice, spiritual beings can trigger that in children's minds because the prejudice that they have from their parents can trigger that out. So the programming that we've been developed in school education has never really matched chosen ones because chosen ones already knew the truth. They already fell in love with God a long time ago. So most people don't understand this because they weren't chosen. But chosen ones can understand this because they've been through this. They've been through this walk that hasn't been easy, because it's never been easy. It's been tough. A lot of chosen ones have been back to the source, back to God, gone back to God because it's so bad here, so negative because of the separation and prejudice and the injustice and the hatred and the negativity and all that toxic energy that's really out here that's just so strong. And most chosen ones are not used to that energy because they had it all with God. It was so perfect, it was so good, it was so beautiful. God was always there, you know. The light was always there, but we come into this world and it's full of prejudice and hatred and just toxic and everybody treating each other bad and people just being bad to each other. So a lot of chosen ones had to go back to the source, but a lot of them are still hanging around here. So most people don't understand that because they weren't chosen. You know, most people will understand that because a lot of them did try to bring unity but gave up because it was the separation and the prejudice was too strong. So that's the thing, is that spiritual energy is very powerful in chosen ones. And a lot of people won't understand that because they think it's far fetched and they think it's all ego tripping and it's all this kind of I'm better than you. And there's a lot of people who are in power that are kind of feels like they shouldn't be on power, but sometimes gods will put those people there to actually expose the system. So this is the reason why chosen ones have such a spiritual energy that can make other people act weird or kind of expose them